I'm compelled to share my journey with y'all. Imagine Brokeback Mountain for 6 years. Imagine almost every week working overtime for 6 years. Living is easier than not to live. My first year, I was going ham at King's Asian Chef, a Chinese restaurant closed at midnight every night, meaning overtime was a breeze. I was one of those ping pong foosballs going back and forth in the restaurant, getting over 10,000 steps a day. And literally, my Fitbit got burnt in the fryer as we were cleaning it out. Literally, Steven, the short Asian dude, he like showed me the Fitbit, and I had to do dine-in, I had to do deliveries, I had to do the register, the window, cooking, cleaning, all of it. Um, I love hot things. The Singapore noodle was my favorite there. It's some vegetables, spices, curry added to it with these thin, amazing noodles and like soy sauce. And I would prep hundreds of crab ragoons, and then when lunchtime hit, I'd have that noodle. Wasabi kicked my ass. I really look forward to the times I could leave the restaurant with my friends for a few hours and come back to the restaurant and then close the restaurant. But upon hanging out with them, I birthed the idea of doing the spicy one chip challenge. So I worked my way up to doing two one chips and then topping it off with the death nut. And I was at Branson McDonald's and I did that challenge and literally didn't drink water for an hour. Felt like the hole was burned in my stomach. It was literally 10 million Scoville units in my body. But so I worked with my coworkers one day, and one of the OGs was this short Asian dude. He loved to travel around the world, and he not only worked at this restaurant, but the other restaurants in Springfield. So I gave him my death nut. He loved my nut, but his lips actually puckered up, so he didn't like my nut that much. But it was a hot nut. There's 5 levels, and I gave him the Carolina Reaper, which is what everyone else took. And yeah, it felt like my heart was gonna explode. I had to get cussed to ice. I actually hit a front flip, and then I hit a side flip. Everyone was dying in the restaurant. It was an appropriate time when we did it. It was towards close. So in Asia, an Asian cuisine is dog. This restaurant that I was at, actually one day we had dog. Well, so I went to the back of the restaurant where the trash bin was, and there was literally a dog in a box. I brought it in, and then that dog went to a shelter there later. But um, working this restaurant, really, your back doesn't cover your back. Like breaking your back don't cover your back. This restaurant done gave me a heart attack. This restaurant was my main job for 4 years on and off. But 19 was my last straw. I couldn't get enough lines of Coke in my nose through a straw. I decided to chew and swallow all of my Coke in my car, all tripped out, paranoid. When I was opening this restaurant, the only thing there at the restaurant in the morning to open was me. So literally opened my glove box, and there was my glass container with my 2-gram rock in it. I opened the container without much thought. I popped the rock out of my mouth, chewed it a little bit, and swallowed it. So I get into this restaurant, start mixing the rice in this big ass wok. I was sticking in the sauces, getting the pecking line ready to open. It was insane. Like everything was enhanced, the depth like no other, color was vibrant, but the regret sunk in. Like I knew I was gone. So my boss, by the grace of God, came to our rescue when this happened. I was passed out with a goose egg and a cracked open head on the ground, covered in my own piss. He prayed for me for the 10 minutes I was unconscious. I got up, used some of his cologne to mask the piss mess, and continued to finish my shift that day. And I actually ended up on a rooftop with my friends that day, and like kind of laughing about how I escaped the grip of death. So with a mouth that was all chewed up and bloody because of the coke, with the gratitude for being alive, with the respect to my boss for letting me continue to work this job the next couple of months, I never touched this drug until about a year later. Restaurant work as a means to get overtime is needed. I was a line cook and everything else, busting tables, and I was about to be a server, but I was a line cook for 8 months at Buffalo Wild Wings. And a grand or two on coke about every month during this time. July was the worst, spent over $2 grand. Literally, I messed up bad this month. I was triple faded. I was drunk, coked out, and I was smoking blunts next to police cars downtown Springfield on the 4th of July. And there's this professional skate scooter I bought this night, but I still use it to this day. But it was an unwise purchase. The scooter, the bars were too low, the deck is too small, and reality was watered down this night. So I went to work the next morning. I don't know how, but I slept that night, and I went to work, which is, yeah. So I see this wisdom, y'all. What you can get from this whole thing was with aging, we gain wisdom and power. And my legacy, I see being purposeful and meaningful to y'all, like salt enhancing food, palatable, whoever's hearing. Ecclesiastes says everything's meaningless, but work is meaningful. We eat the labor of our hands, the properties, the gardens, the fruits of our toil. The only thing that has meaning, that brings gladness, our wife, our family, everything else is meaningless. But there's no way to learn but the hard way. Everything you have to be 100% in.
Mom. I cannot do that. Okay.
All right, Dee, good job. I can keep going.
Go, sumo, not conventional, but whatever.